Hello, guys. And welcome back to another episode of Down to Mars. I'm Nis.
I'm Bex.
I'm Lola Day.
I'm Abs.
And yeah.
Tonight,
Tonight we're going to be Destiny's Child. Do you know what? We need ideas for like a little jingly intro.
Yeah, because this is a little bit like...
We've been saying for ages. Like, you should actually sing it for us.
No, it's all right.
You should. No, we actually have a song.
Oh my gosh.
Let's
play
You know
it.
what? We're going to, maybe we'll put it in here, you know?
We need
It's a hit.
100,000 more subscribers and we will
Russian
release the song and the music video.
We won't be taking a music deal for less than $3 so make sure your money's right if you want to sign us.
Abby is our choreographer.
Yes. I left my shoes in the car. I was telling her
Your dancing shorts.
Guys, we thank you for joining us there. Hope you enjoyed our last episode. If you haven't watched it, go and watch that.
Yeah.
But this week we've got an interesting topic. I had the thought, this is something that's kind of been, I won't say heavy on my mind, but there was an incident that happened last year.
Was it last year?
Was last year. Wow. Yeah, it was last year.
Time is going
It's
so
literally,
quick.
it's been nearly a
it was just
year
this
actually
couple months ago.
that I haven't spoken to this person.
Wow.
But it's kind of like I haven't been able to kind of put it to rest because obviously when somebody exits your life, people ask like, okay, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's like,
People mistake them for other people.
exactly.
Tobias.
And that situation was like I guess, somebody kind of took advantage of my trust and was doing all kinds of effery.
Witchery.
Yeah, actually, literal
Sorcery.
witchcraft.
Oh, wow.
And I wanted to talk about how we determine letting people into your circle. Letting people into your circle. How do we determine who gets a pass into your circle, and what has been everyone's experiences of mistrust, of letting people in that shouldn't have been in, and. Yeah, really.
I think this is a good topic because I feel like we probably all got stories to say, to share.
Honey.
And
Absolutely.
I think it's quite relevant to this stage of our lives because, like you hear like our parents always say like, oh, you lose friends as you get older.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's actually been quite relevant. Like people have shown their face.
Yeah.
And it's like, hold on, you've been in my life or you've been in my house, in my clothes, you've been part of my family.
You know my business, you see all of my ups, my
And
downs.
then you just show this side and it's just like, but then sometimes on the flip side, you have people around you that you just give them bly because they're your friend or you think, oh, it's just this person. Oh, you know what they're like. But it's like, actually, no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's
I'd love
another
to
thing.
specify though that we're not just talking about friends. We're talking about it could be
Any
family
relationships.
yeah.
It could be family. Like it's just anyone that
You could be close to.
Yeah, because trust isn't a given. Just because
Yeah,
we got the same blood, that doesn't mean I trust you.
Yeah.
And so that I'm interested to hear everyone's thoughts, everyone's takes, and I guess maybe I should give.
I think you should get started.
I think I should get started.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me give backstory. I'm going to try and approach this in a tactful way because it's not just me that's involved. But I had a friend, very close friend. If you knew me, then you'd probably had met her at some point in time. And she had been around 10 plus years, maybe like 15 years in like not around for that whole time. Obviously there's been times where the communication might have lapsed, but the last like 4 or 5 years she was very much present in my life, to the point where she had spent like Christmases with my family. She had a personal relationship with other members of my family, which is how I guess she was able to
Do witchcraft.
like fly under the radar. And
No, seriously.
yeah,
wait,
like,
I don't think
witchcraft.
I don't think I know the situation fully, so I'm
No?
so intrigued.
Really?
No, yeah.
Okay, cool. So, and again, I don't really take joy in telling this story because, as I said, it's not just my story to tell, but I feel inclined to tell it because I don't know how many other people this has happened to, and I daren't think how many more people it could happen to. So, as I said, this person was in a position of trust, very close, very much, could come. could be at my house when I'm not at my house, and you know, could go out with my mom or go out with my sisters, and had that relationship and was in there.
Yeah.
And there was an incident that happened last year whereby she had a situation in her life that she was seeking advice from me on. I'm not going to even get into that situation because that's not my business, but she was seeking advice from me about, you know, how to go about this or whatever. And I gave her my advice because it was requested, and she was, I guess, she didn't like the advice that I gave, and so she then reacted in a negative manner. So at this point, there was already, I guess, a space that had been created, because it's like, listen, I didn't come and fast up and give you advice, because that's
You asked me.
You asked for it. I told you my opinion. I'm not going to lie to you, innit? If you can't handle it, that's your business. So we were already at a distance when this information was, like, I became aware of it. Now, there was an incident with a minor, a member of my family who's a minor, and that led to me going in her phone. And when I went in her phone, I saw things that were questionable.
Yeah.
And it was very obvious to me, because I had obviously seen the evidence before even having a conversation with this person, that something not quite right has been going on. Now, the person that I'm talking about, the minor, was at the time 14.
So yeah, young.
14, a child, yeah. And impressionable. And obviously the same level of trust that I had for this person, I'm going to give her a name because it's going to get confusing. So let's call her...
Leslie.
Leslie, right. So Leslie, who had been my friend for a long time and was in a position of trust, also had a relationship with the minor. The minor, we're going to call her Kayla, right? So Leslie and Kayla. Leslie now struck up a personal relationship with Kayla, almost like a big sister relationship, similar to the relationship that I had shared with this person. Yeah. And had struck up a relationship, would, you know, call her, text her. Sometimes they'd go out. And there were points when I thought, this is a bit odd. Like, I understand caring for someone younger than you and stuff, but I also think there is a boundary. And for me...
When you had those thoughts about, okay, this is a bit odd.
Yes.
What stopped you from questioning? Is it just that you had trust for that person?
I think it was trust.
Yeah.
I think it was assuming that from everything that I had seen, that this person is a good person.
Yeah.
I never would have assumed that they had ill intentions.
Yeah.
So my assumption was that their intentions were pure. They were doing it from a good place, and, you know, they had a good heart.
Yeah.
Obviously, it became apparent that... so the first thing that I saw was a video that was made in this person's car. And Kayla, the person in question, who's 14 at the time, Kayla was vaping in this person's car. And obviously this person is in the car. Now, when I've seen this, obviously, I'm like, hold on, what? Like, what? Like,
So when you're going out,
where
with
did you
her,
get
this
a
is what
vape from, first of all? And, like, you need to tell me how we got to this point. Yeah. So obviously, from the line of questioning now, she's purchased a minor a vape. So she said, oh, like, have you ever tried a vape before?
Wait.
She said, have you ever tried a vape before? Bearing in mind, Leslie doesn't vape, doesn't, like, engage in any kind of drugs, any kind of, like, extracurricular.
So she was just steering Kayla off course.
Right. And this was, like, to me, I think in the grand scheme of things, this was actually quite, not minuscule, but it wasn't the worst, which is what is insane. So obviously, when I've spoken to Kayla and I'm asking, how did this, you know, go about? Kayla has basically lied to her carers and has said, like, oh, we're going to the shop, or so they might be out at a family function, at a barbecue or whatnot, and it's like, oh, I'm just going to take Kayla to the shop. When we're going to go to Starbucks, we're going to get, you know, and you know what a minor likes, right? So you're going to kind of intrigue, you know, pull them in that way. Anyway, she's taken her to buy a vape, right? So you bought a minor a vape. That's the first thing. The second thing, or the other things that became apparent, was that she was don't know if it's encouraging. In my opinion, she was grooming Kayla, yeah? Because she was encouraging Kayla to, like, asking questions like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Have you ever had a boyfriend? Blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, oh, this boy likes you. Oh, yeah, you should talk to him, blah, blah, blah. She had taken Kayla to like visit to a boy's house, yeah, had like encouraged a relationship between Kayla and a boy. Even when Kayla said, oh, you know what, I think he's like talking to other girls or whatever. No, you know, these things happen, blah, and encouraged it even further, yeah?
Right.
Without making any elders in Kayla's life aware that this was something, you know, even just to say, oh, you know, have your eye out, or, you know, like you wanted it to be your little secret because you wanted to
be that person of trust.
Yeah. It's like
minor.
that made you
Big
cool.
sis, kind of big sis.
Yeah. And funny enough, Leslie has a younger sister who is the same age as Kayla, right? But she lives in another country. And I always questioned like the relationship between her and her sister, because it wasn't that of like an adult and a minor. It was like they were on par. So even like the way that they would talk, like the level of conversation, there was no boundary. And I wasn't comfortable with that, because I think as an adult, you need to set clear boundaries, especially when you're dealing with children. Yeah, you can be cool. Yeah, you can like, you know,
You're still a responsible adult in
you
their
need to
life.
understand, I can do this. You can't do this because you are a child, innit? And there's one thing I will never do, and I'll never encourage a child to do bad.
Big people things.
Especially
and
things
even do
that
big
I'm
people
not even
things.
doing
Yeah.
myself. Like, I just think that's insane, innit? And it's hard because I can't speak on the specifics, but just know that when I was made aware of all of the information, I didn't even, and I'm quite a fiery, confrontational person, in it. I don't really shy away from confrontation, but I didn't even know how to approach it. My only thought was, do you know what? I want to go to your house and I want to kick down the door and I want to do you some damage. Like, genuinely, the anger that I felt was I couldn't control it. And I sat on it, not even sat on it, but obviously I made like the relevant people aware. And then it was like, okay, how do I approach it?
Yeah.
So did Kayla know or feel like it was wrong? Or was Kayla a bit like...
Kayla did not think anything was strange until, as adults, we sat down and said, like, we're kind of pointing out the pattern of behaviour, like, because she would say things to Kayla like, oh yeah, don't say anything to Narissa, because Narissa, you know how Narissa is, like, you know, she's not going to be cool with that. Or so you've actually, make sure you hide because she bought her a vape on several occasions, right?
Okay.
Make sure you hide the vape under your bed so no one can find it. You know, make sure, like, you're telling her to be deceitful, which is insane to me. It's insane, and it's insane. And getting onto the topic, I trusted this person. Like, this person knows probably my life from top to bottom, like, has seen me at my worst, has supported me through my worst, innit? Like, has been an ear when I didn't really feel like I did have an ear. Like, we had a very close relationship. So it was not something that I did foresee. Even at the time when we was on a bit of a shaky level because of something that was, you know, on our situation, I didn't think that you would ever do that.
Yeah.
And when I did eventually confront her, it was like, I said, you've basically groomed her. That's how I see it. And she was so offended by that. Like, no, I haven't, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, perspective. If you're looking at it the way I'm looking at it, what else was you doing?
Especially when you're telling a child not to tell
What
an
was your
adult or tell somebody
intention?
something.
Like,
That's
what-
quite specific. You're quite, you're trying to tell, you're making them be deceitful. Yeah.
That's just the iceberg, I think, of the situation.
Yeah.
But for me, that was a real turning point, because it was like, wow, this person, because of the years, because of the experiences, because of what I thought we had built.
I would never have to question that.
Even when I had my feelings like, I'm not really 100% comfortable with this relationship, the relationship between Kayla and Leslie, I wasn't fully comfortable with it.
But you wouldn't have assumed that it would ever be anything inappropriate.
And I thought, you know what? I trust Leslie. I trust your judgment. And I trust that you don't have bad intentions. So, cool.
Thing is though, sometimes, sometimes it's people that are close to you that have this hidden like envy or jealousy, and it could just be that she's jealous or envious of your life, of your family or close-knit unit. Maybe she doesn't have that. Maybe she doesn't have certain things that you just you don't not say take for granted, but you're just fortunate to have that she don't have. And then it's trying to she's come in to try and destroy or cause division in those aspects of your life.
Which is basically what she did.
Well, exactly.
During that period,
it stemmed from
my relationship with Kayla, it wasn't strained, but you know, you can think, bro, where's this coming from? You know, like this energy of like, you don't care, or you're just like...
But that's what she's planted.
But she's been planting seeds, and this happened over like the course of, say, like 9 months. It wasn't like it was happening. And... yeah, there were instances where I'd said to my mum, like, Mum, I'm not really comfortable with, you know, this relationship. But she's like, no, you know, like, she's not.
No one's thinking it's going to be this.
It's the last person I expected. The last person that I expected. And I think that really shook me to the core. Yeah. Shook me to the core. Made me really have to reassess, like, who I've got around me. Yeah. And also, like, how easily people... kind of surpass that status of like being a friend, which I didn't think it was an easy thing, innit? As I said, like, this is a long-standing relationship. You're not just someone that pop up out of nowhere and is all up in my, like, it wasn't that. So I think
it makes you think though, was there ever any times in the past where she tried funny stuff like that prior? Do you know what I mean? But it's like,
I mean, the likelihood is yes, isn't it, really? Because what is the chances that this is what are the chances that this is an isolated incident? I don't really think so. But maybe things have kind of
slipped under the radar.
Yeah, it's quite interesting because funny character.
I think when you know someone for a long time, that is the perfect wall over your eyes, isn't it? You don't expect a surprise to come from something that's right in front of your face. You always expect these things to come from like outside people. You always expect, you know, young teenagers to get influenced by this new, you know, person they've never. But sometimes it is that person that you know, and you know, obviously that situation is very unfortunate and quite specific. But I think in different ways, we all have that long-term friend, that long-term person that you trust that's in your circle that has, you know, kind of. Abby, I think you was going to say something about.
No, I was after you finished. I was going to even share my own experience.
Oh, okay, yeah, go on.
But like, so. I feel like this is going to be loads of story times, but similar to you, not to the same extent, but it was more personal to me. I had a friend, we was friends since like, I'd say like year 7, so what's that, 11 years? And I think we fell out, I want to say 2021 or 2022. So a good like 10 plus years, I would say we was friends for. And to be fair, like, I always knew that we was quite different in terms of our personalities, but I didn't see that as like an issue.
Why would it be?
No, like I feel like I'm different to a lot of my friends. Like we're not all very similar. Like there's stuff that we share that's similar, but then there's stuff that makes you different. And obviously now looking back on things, and maybe this is from my perspective, so this might not be seen by the person. Yeah. But I feel like that particular friend liked, whether they'd admit it or not, but liked when I was in the down state, like, oh no, poor Abby, or Abby's not got this in check, or Abby's not got that, or whatever, just because I think, sorry to take it back, I've always been quite an open book with my friends. I've never really watched what I would say or whatever, so I'd let a lot of like friends in on what's going on in my personal life. And like I would tell my friends, oh, like when I was single, like, oh yeah, I'm just doing this, or I'm doing that, or whatever, like I don't know, like I'm out with my friends or whatever, blah blah blah. And anyway, when I got into a relationship, I noticed things shift between me and this friend.
In what way?
Like, they just started making comments about, like kind of like, whether they'd even realised they did it, but, like, making my boyfriend an issue. Like, I remember there was a time that I was feeling quite, like, overwhelmed. And I was working, I would say sometimes, like, 13, 14-hour days. the office that I was working at had offices in New York. So sometimes I'd log on at night to do some of the stuff for the New York office because they didn't have staff.
Yeah.
They, like, lost some stuff or whatever. And that friend was aware of that. And instead of saying, oh, like, maybe you need to speak to your office about getting some staff in New York because you can't be doing these hours.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, no, but he's the problem. Do you think you're spending too much time with him? And da-da-da. But it's like, but you want your friends to be happy.
Yeah.
Anyway, like, fast forward, there was, like, so many weird things. And even, like, I could go on for ages. But we fell out over, and I don't know if I really want to say the ins and outs, but it did seem like a jealous, I don't know if that's a bit, I don't know if I could, I can say that. I feel like she was jealous.
Yeah.
I got in a relationship. We was happy. There was comments about when I was in my relationship, I remember me and my boyfriend was going on holiday once and she came around the night before, as friends do.
Yeah.
He's going to propose when you go away. And I was like, no, he's not.
How long had you been going out at this point? Not that it matters, but it's just
it wasn't that long.
Was it random?
It was very random. Literally 2 weeks. No, I'm joking. I don't even know the time, but I know that regardless, I knew it wasn't that. Like, just projected. Yeah, but I think she was.
It might have been. You don't know.
Okay, maybe I. No, but I think looking from an adult's perspective now, looking at the situation, I think she was projecting her fears. I think because she'd been in a long-term relationship, she wanted these things. She wanted marriage. She wanted a child. That was the next thing for her. But I think because things had accelerated for me, like out of the blue, not out of the blue, but I got in a relationship and it got, like, I was of an age and it was flowing. Yeah. And I think she was like, oh. So she was saying like, oh, he's going to propose. And then it went on to the topic of when you're going to have kids and da-da-da. And it became quite intense. And I don't know if she even...
That's not funny, innit? But I'm just laughing because it's like,
I was a bit
my God.
Yeah.
Chill.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was meant in a maliceful way. But the only reason why I thought it was maliceful was because as the events unfolded, it came to me that I had brought her in with another friend, and it turned out that like she was basically like talking to this other friend. She was talking to this other friend about me. I feel like this story is just going. It sounds a bit messy. Go on. No, but she was talking about this other friend. To be fair, I speak to this other friend now.
Yeah.
Because we reconciled. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
We moved forward. However, what came to light to me was that, like she was talking about me to this other friend, my relationship specifically, about how she doesn't think it's going to work, how all this stuff. And there was so much weird stuff. Yeah, but it's just if I regard you my friend, you wouldn't say that of me. And if you did think that something wasn't going to work, you would come to me and explain why. Like if you had any concerns. But it was all just from a maliceful place. And it was all because of the fact that maybe her situation was quite stagnant. And...
Do you feel like there were like any red flags?
Yes.
Like that you bypassed maybe?
100%. Like even when I speak to my mum said to me, and this was only the other day and I didn't even know this, my mum said we had been on quite a few family holidays together. Like she was like a sister. Yeah. That's how close we was. So she'd come on a lot of holidays when I was younger. And my mum said to me, this is literally like a week ago. She was like, yeah, I remember you came down in a bikini and I was really skinny in my prime. No, I'm joking. When I was younger, I was very slim. Yeah. So I'd wear like bikinis. My mum never thought anything of it.
You still wear them now?
Yeah.
Goody,
what you talking about?
Goody one bunch.
No, but yeah, like I would wear a bikini and that would be fine. No one thought it was inappropriate. But she said to my mum once, I won't say my mum's name, but don't you think what she's wearing is a bit inappropriate? And I never knew that.
As a young girl,
that's so about crazy. 14.
That's so crazy.
Really? She said that to my mum. And my mum was like, my mum said that it made her like double check because she thought, why would I? Like, she's planted a seed in my mum's head.
Yeah.
And then my mum was like, she was gonna say something to me because she thought, well, maybe you should be wearing one pieces like what she's wearing. But then my mum thought, no, like. It's innocent. Like she knows I'm not like I was young. I wasn't. I had no boobs. I wasn't being promiscuous. But it was like she was making out, and then she had made a comment again on that holiday about, oh, Abby's so like look at her. She wants to try alcohol. My mum's like, but this is what it's like when you're approaching that teenage year.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? But it was like she was trying to make out that I was some wayward child.
Yeah.
And that like my mum couldn't control me and da-da-da.
Oh gosh.
But it's like she was trying to turn my mum against me, which maybe she might have not even realised. I don't know.
Yeah.
But those are
some people can't contain their venom. I feel like that's another thing. Like when you have a friend like that, they can't contain that little bit of spite, that little bit of venom,
What
it
it
always
showed
comes
me
out and
in
stuff.
little triggers.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It had been there from the beginning of time.
Yeah.
And it just brewed and brewed and brewed. And it took a situation for me to settle down, for her to just bang out.
Lose it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I never pulled her up. So to tie the whole situation up, I found out she was speaking about me, things that I didn't think was a friend should do. I confronted her. We fell out over that. Well, kind of fell out over it, but then she tried to reconcile and we was working at it. And then there was comments about, then it started going into comments about, are you guys going to have children and blah, blah, blah. And it was just, I felt like it was a competition. Like, who's going to get married first? Who's going to have children first? Who's going to buy a house first?
God, it's draining, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's like,
you can't be in
none
a
of
situation like that.
Look at all of us. Like, we're all in situations where everyone's striving to do different things.
Yeah.
If we was all competing, we wouldn't even be true to ourselves.
Babe, I'll be knackered because I can't keep up with you lot. Like, everybody's got too much going on. Like, I can't even keep up with myself.
Literally.
But it was like a race. And then I just turned around, and that day that we had that conversation, I thought, this is it.
Yeah.
And I knew in my spirit, I'm not even going to bring it to you. I can't be bothered to bring it to you. And it's actually quite sad because I have thought to myself, should I have given her the grace of actually just telling her how she's made me feel? But then I just thought...
so you didn't...
I never had a conversation. I just stopped speaking. She stopped speaking. But from the fact that she stopped speaking, it let me know that she wasn't... Do you get what I mean? Like, if you was my friend and what I had judged was wrong, you would have been like, oh, Abby, why are you moving weird? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe she thought
But
about
then
it for
she
me.
could have said the same thing for you. Yeah.
I guess as well on that is their point, because I'm a big believer. Like, I will confront a situation that I think is worthwhile confronting, but when I am in a situation that I haven't had this, like a situation that's identical to yours or yours, to be honest, but I've had situations with friends, and there's been times where I have confronted the situation, addressed certain things.
How did you go about it?
Yeah, well, going about it depends, innit? They vary. But what my point is that there have been times where I haven't said anything when I know it's dead in the water, when I know that this friendship is over. But if I say something to you on an issue, which, like, just off the top of my head, I've had one situation where it's just an outright, like, listen, this is how I feel. And then there have been other times where it's a little bit more subtle, but that is an indication from me, hey, I want to save the friendship. I care to save it, because
you're not going to do that if you don't care, really.
Honestly, when you know, and I think with your situation, from what it sounds like,
I knew
you probably knew this cannot go any further than where it's gone.
I think I just saw a characteristic trait that I'd been seeing, and it was just, the mirror was in front of my face, and it was just like, I'm tired of justifying certain behaviour.
Yeah.
I'm not in competition with you.
Yeah.
I wish you all the best.
Yeah.
And I have no malice. Like, even now, I generally don't. However, we're not gonna. I've allowed so much.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like actually having you around me. Even this, I found out I was pregnant. I think 2-3 months after me and her had that conversation, which was about, oh, when you gonna have a baby? When you gonna have a baby? It was like a competition sort of thing, or like a race or whatever. And I found out I was pregnant a few months after that. It hindered me even being public about my pregnancy, because I thought...
Yeah, I remember you were
remember?
like frightened.
It was just like red eye. I just felt like I've had someone so close to me say stuff about my relationship, say stuff about how things are going to progress for me, that it made me feel like I didn't even announce my pregnancy until I was about 7 months pregnant. Yeah. And it almost made me feel like, why did I...
do that?
Yeah, but it's because I had someone so close that make me feel like you need to keep your mouth shut and not share so much. And that's what was the answer for me, was just like, we can't be friends. If that's how I feel, then we can't be friends. But it's mad, because we've been friends since we was 11.
Yeah.
And she'd been in my life, she'd seen
sometimes you gotta let it go, because when you have that... what was you gonna say?
No. I was just going on to the subject of, like, how we can bypass those red flags. And I think sometimes it's like, you don't want to be that strict person. Like,
and you want to give people grace.
Yeah.
You want, especially when you have a friendship with a tenure that long. Like, even me, I've had friendships with people that I've been primary school with, you know, like, similar, they're in your family, you go on holidays with them, this is your ride or die. And for years and years and years, and with my friendship situation, I'll just say it briefly, what the issue was is I noticed over the years that they were very much, they would treat other people, like, around us in a certain way, like gravitate to what made the most sense for them. Their loyalty kind of went with
what benefited them.
Convenience, what benefited them. There was an element of kind of like, what you gonna do for me? And that's where I...
Really?
Yeah. Okay. And I saw that a lot in it. like over the years. And obviously when you're friends with someone like that, it has its benefits for you as well. So I'll own that, because there'll be moments where it's like you're in a situation,
reaping those benefits.
And I always thought you would never do that to me. But I had a few situations kind of later, like when we were teenagers, like early college, like deep situations, whatever, where I just felt like,
what the heck?
Yeah, that, right, this is my ride or die, it's my person.
But you're not really moving like that, though.
No, her loyalty was not to me in that time. It was to what was serving her in that moment. And even we stopped talking. I said, look, I've had enough of this behaviour. It's enough, like, We stopped talking. And then, you know, she come back, I'm sorry, you know, I want to be friends again. Listen, can't live without you. Obviously, this is my best friend from young. And you just kind of say, like, yes, immediately. Like, you know what? You're my bestie, of course. But it just fizzled out, because you know what? You realise that you haven't changed. And probably there are things that you're dealing with, which we all know the girl. Like, there's things that she was obviously dealing with and ended up doing. And there's so many more things I could say about her in it, but I just...
Stay tuned for another episode.
No, I wouldn't even want to air out too much in it, because it's like we've had...
It's a mutual...
No one's perfect in it, so I'm not here to just be like, she's this, and she's this, and she's this. No, and there were times we had great times. Let me write this. Yeah, we had great times, innit? And sometimes when you have a friendship where you do have such amazing times and amazing memories, you gloss over those little things that are actually like, you know, that little comment that's like, that ain't a joke. Because I can banter with you. I can banter with my friends. Like, I might wear an ugly as hell jumper. You lot might laugh about it. You know, we have a look, like, Rebecca, the jumper, you're looking like, look, we're just laughing at you, peplum girl.
She doesn't talk about it.
No, but what did you laugh at me about the other day? Something that I wore. Anyway,
I can't remember what you wore, and I was like,
you was just like, Rebecca, you're coming wearing like something rude in it, but like we were always banter.
That's what.
Yeah, Lord is me.
you are
Anyway, back to the topic.
Oh, I sent you an outfit, and you was like, yeah. So is this your main choice?
That's what she does to me, man.
He was like, is this your main choice? So immediately I was like, no, this is my backup. This is just my backup. I was trying.
Meanwhile, this was top of the list.
That was top of the list. I was like, no, I didn't even want to wear this anyway. So like, there's you're put it up right now.
That's a wicked friend.
Because Lola's like, you could take it to higher heights.
Yeah.
You don't want friends that are like, no, put the plastic bag on. What the hell? No. You need friends that are telling you.
Risky dress.
No, yeah, exactly. No, but yeah, like I feel like, you know, in a friendship where it's fun and it's jokes and you gotta have like I love a friendship where we can banter and have that relationship, but you know, like Abby, in your situations, you know, some of them comments that are deep rooted, especially when they
comes from somewhere.
Yeah, they hinge on somebody's real insecurity and things like that. And I've experienced a lot of those comments, and over the years, you start. It's like, oh my God, wow.
But I think that's good, because that at that point, that's when you switch on. It's not good, obviously, because it's unfortunate when friendships like fizzle out in certain way, or not even fizzle out. Sometimes it's outright. Sometimes
never
don't
chat
fizzle
to
out. Listen, you hide. You don't want to see me, seriously. But then you have to learn from it, innit? You have to, and as uncomfortable and unfortunate as it is, because it hurts. Because it's like, I actually had visions of you, you know, being part of my bride tribe and all of that. Like,
but
you know,
with your situation, I feel like one thing, even listening to your story, I feel like you said something about when friendships surpass being a friendship, and you had almost like a family relationship, and that's been a common denominator of all of our
the boundaries maybe and I were wonder, a little bit.
Is that an issue? Like, do we as people struggle to keep those boundaries? Like, should friends just be friends? Like, where's
that's interesting.
I mean, it's a natural progression, obviously, but should we make a conscious effort sometimes?
I don't think it's a natural progression, you know, because what I've experienced, I've had times where like I've given somebody that level of like, okay, yeah, you're in, like, you know, you're gonna get invited to family events and invited on holidays and
VIP.
all of those things. But then it's like in the reverse, the energy is not the same. And I think that should be a mutual thing, innit? Like if I'm gonna regard you as my family, I would only hope that you regard me in the same way. And I think sometimes you have to pre it and see when that energy isn't reciprocated. It's like, oh, okay, like hold on, maybe I'm giving you too much.
Yeah,
you know.
Do you know what's so interesting? I was having a conversation earlier on in the year. Besides, my mum always telling me, be careful of friends, be careful of friends.
As parents always do.
Yeah,
Mums always
do.
But
it's true.
I had a conversation with a friend earlier in the year, and we were just talking about like how that we kind of divide our friendship groups, how we separate associates to sisters and sisters to just like people who you can go out and have fun with. And I think that really hit home for me because I'm somebody who, from your part of my team, like I call you my sister, you meet my whole family, you can come.
You qualify.
You qualify. You get to meet my sisters, my siblings.
Yeah, that's the energy
all the time. So I think I had to realize the hard way that I had to really start categorizing people because my kind of person I am, I will let you in because it's like everyone deserves their own fresh chance. I can't just take what maybe Narissa said about that person and hold it as gospel. No, I'll try and test it myself, innit? And I think I had to realize that people have to be categorized sometimes. Like not everybody can have that sister badge where you can talk to my sister and you grab my sister and you have my sister's number and you can come to my house. And some people are like, yeah, you're my good friend, but you are there. We go out together and you are... Because it gets
and that's
dangerous.
not a bad thing. Do you know what I mean? That's not, especially like as we're growing and you're having your own children and all of that. You need to be careful and really sure of the people that you know have that trust because people that your family and your friends, close people to you, will give the person that you bring in the circle the trust because it's like, okay, well you gave them the green pass.
Vouch for them.
Yeah. I had a situation in university actually, and
university.
Yeah, and there was some girl who I'd met in college. We had become cool, and in uni we kind of got a little bit closer. And I kind of always had like a little bit of an inkling that this girl's a little bit like, I don't know, a bit witchy, like a bit nasty, like. But I just thought, okay,
what made you? What was like, if you can think of any?
Just certain things that she would say, like. Certain situations that she had, told me about, and I'm like, that's a bit vindictive, though. That's
what do you mean, like talking on other people's situations?
Yeah, and things that she's done.
Or things that she's done.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, this is quite like intense. Like, my real friends are not really like this. That we don't do this. Kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's crazy, though.
And I would just pray, and I'd be like, oh, no, but don't be like that. You have to just have grace. You have to calm down. Like, don't be like how people are to you. You have to just give them.
Yeah.
You know me, gospel girl. Give people a chance. Anyways, so we had a situation where she had we had a situation where we had a very vulnerable moment, and even with then I was still a bit like reserved in regards to like what I could really tell her because I couldn't shake the feeling.
Yeah.
And she had entrusted me with things where I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I will never, until this day, have never ever spoken to anybody.
Yeah, disclose it.
Yeah, it's not my place.
Yeah.
And then a situation happened where she had been, in the car with one of our mutual friends and they had been privy to a certain conversation, and she started spilling lies about me. And at that moment, I'm thinking, yo, like, first of all, you knew this person, our mutual friend, like, me and him were quite cool. And it's just like, why would you...
Make that lie.
Why would you make that lie? Why would you go to that extent to kind of, first of all, embarrass me, and second of all, spill something that's not even factual?
Yeah.
And that's when I realised that, This
is why I had the feeling.
Yeah, that's why I had a feeling. And people are actually who they present themselves to be.
And that's the thing. And we try and give them grace and, you don't... But then it's... You're the one.
More
you're the one.
you.
Like
100%.
Because when this situation unfolded, I felt like, wow, you're dumb. Like I felt angry at myself because I'm like, I feel responsible. Yeah. Like, but I'm not the kind of person to go off of what other people think, innit? Like you're my brethren. I'm gonna ride for you, innit? Like no, like don't, she's not this or she's not that. Like that's how I am, innit? And I'll give everyone that same energy, but. In this situation, it backfired, innit?
Yeah.
Like that was a real like whoa, and now it's like I'm scared. Like I'm actually scared. Like,
and that's why when
you're
trying
to bring new people in, and you roll like no,
you be having your new friends. I ain't made no new friends since university. Honestly,
what new friends do I have? I don't have any friends.
I don't have no new.
I have the same friends.
That's true. I think I've just.
I might have different friends, but like none of my close friends are newer than. Like,
I think I have
9 years,
to be honest.
9 years. My newest friends I met when I was in drama school, like, and they already been nearly 10 years. Like,
that's great.
The thing is, though,
I do feel like
friendships do change over time. Sometimes they evolve, or they change, or they go through like.
Maybe that's a good topic because we talk about relationships.
Yeah, but friendships evolve, and I feel like you can go through like quieter periods of friends, and then they come back again, and you got like it's just seasonal, isn't it? Through life, and sometimes
you have your dramas.
I
actually had that.
Then you're back. You're best friends again.
You
have to talk it out.
No, but I think ultimately, me and Lola fell out a couple of weeks ago. But we're friends again.
Thick as thieves, you two.
The thing is, though, I do think you know, though, when it's a falling out that's like nothing. It's like, I don't know if you say surface level, and it's a falling out that's like we can't come back from this. Like
sometimes it is, you can't come back from it, but it's just not maliceful. Like I've had that. Like I have a friend that was very super close with, and it's like we was always together, and similarly, like, to be honest, we was in a group with the other girl I was talking about since primary school, but
Destiny's Child.
Destiny's literally no period. And Beyonce. Like we don't speak anymore, but it's not maliceful. It's just that we're on.
There's no beef.
It's natural. It's nice. We still check in.
Like it's not? Don't you feel like it's kind of sad or not?
It is sad. It is sad. It's really sad, especially like we just shared. Like this person honestly knows the depths, the dregs of my life, and it's sad because I wish I had more time to, like, make time for it. I just haven't got time, unfortunately, to accommodate like a friendship of that degree where it's just so like here and there. Like we still check in with each other, but I just don't have a lot of time anyway. I'm struggling with my literal close friends, let alone.
And that's what it is sometimes, you know. It's like, it's not even a malice thing, but it's like already on my plate, I have enough. And this, we didn't even get to go into the, we only really spoke on friendships. We didn't actually speak on like family, all of that stuff. But another topic or another point of discussion, there's always so many topics, but another point of discussion would actually be like the other side, because there's a side of it where I have, because of these experiences and because of like the passer and like, you know, people doing crazy things or whatever, even that has trickled through to like my energy when it comes to like family. So there are some people where it's like, oh, okay, we actually share the same blood, you know, you are actually my kin, but I don't have the energy, and you know, we might not have grown up together, or we might not have that relationship already established. And so it means that I don't actually have the energy now to
build a relationship with you.
I'm not over enthusiastic. It doesn't mean I don't want to do it, but it's like, do I want to build a relationship with you and then you're gonna like come and do something mad? Or
I'll tell you straight, I feel like that about my sister.
Really?
Yeah, like
okay.
I only met her a few years ago, and honestly, she seems like a lovely girl, but I just haven't got a lot of time, and I feel so bad. I want to.
I have that same feeling about some of my siblings, you know.
I'm just like, I really wish, but yeah, it's a time for us to talk about it. Like, we'll do a whole nother episode.
We will do a whole nother episode.
We need to follow this one up 100%.
Yeah,
we do.
Because I feel like there's so many more aspects and things to say about it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just where you're at as well in life. Like, I know, like, even where I've got like she's going to be 2 soon. Well, 1.5 year old.
I can't believe it. Yeah, wow, gosh.
This has been the most time I'm very selective with the friends that I pour into, because I just don't, your life is just so busy.
Yeah. You can't even separate too tough. So it's like you need everyone to kind of be like on the same page.
I'm not being funny. Time is the most valuable thing, innit? So it's like, you have to be selective of who you give, and what you give your time to.
But back in the day, I wasn't really like that, because I suppose I felt like I had more time, or I didn't have
as
as much
do.
to
Do you know what I mean?
We're building, you know,
it's growth.
Building lives, serious lives. Yeah,
it's true. It's true.
It's such a different.
But we'll get back into it. We'll get into the topic. We'll talk about the relationships. We'll talk about the family, all of that side of things. But let us know what you thought about this episode. Let us know your own experiences. If you've had any experiences where you've let somebody into the circle that didn't actually,
they've just done a number on you.
Yeah, like, please, we want to hear it. Come sit down on the sofa and talk to us. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And is there anything else?
Did you want to do some advice? I don't know if we should do advice. Should we maybe do like, because I was just listening to what you guys say, like, how do you feel about like friendships now? How are you dealing with friendships when you have conflict? Like, what is your go-to for that?
I feel like I'm not as welcoming to new friends. I'm not saying I'm not very, I just feel like I'm not
no new friends.
Basically, I'm not against it, but like there's strong boundaries for new people that come in. But also, I feel like I feel like I'm more conscious of the friendships that I have now, and like maintaining them, and also making sure that they're healthy. So like, you know, having conversations, like even calling friends and saying like, did I offend you in anything? Like, I don't.
So
Why are you laughing?
My chewing gum went down my throat.
Oh, yeah, is it funny? No, but
She's laughing at you, Abby. I saw her.
do you know what, Narissa? She's an example. There was a red flag about 5 years ago that I let. No, I'm joking. No, but actually checking in with friends and actually holding my friends accountable and hoping that they hold me accountable, because I think that's key.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what is it? What are we doing? Do you know what I mean? You have to be able to pull your friends up, or they pull you up if they don't appreciate something, and I think that's real.
Bloody fly.
Anyone else?
I think what are we doing? What are we doing? Sorry, what was? It's advice.
Yeah, just a little bit of advice. Like, how are you dealing?
Since this situation, how are you dealing with your friends?
I think it's
and how you resolving any
men are trust people. That's how I'm not joking.
What who you smoke with and who you run a joke with. Yeah, bottom line.
Like, no. Now I'm just a lot more. I feel like when there are the red flags. What are you guys saying?
Yeah, would you say louder into the mic?
You feel like your friends where you're smoking and that is my advice.
Yeah, girl,
I'm joking. When you have a situation where you think your friend's done something that might be questionable or whatever, you question it, like you address it, you have that conversation, and I think I would go into it, but we're running low on time, so that's my advice.
Yes.
Rebecca?
Similarly to what you guys have kind of said, I don't really want to make new friends, but I'm definitely always interested in networking, and I think categorizing friends
we can be business
and like
pros.
new people, like there's no harm in that, and that's something that whereas in the past you're looked at as somebody like who I don't know is like mean. I've always been called mean, standoffish. A lot of people say it about me.
Mean.
Do you think?
Yeah,
I think that when we get chatting, like people always realise I'm quite an alright person. But I think
have a soft side, but
you're a Leo queen.
You're quite prickly. You know?
Yeah, maybe that is true. I am
like a headshot.
Jump scare. Yeah. Okay, goodbye. She's like, right, we're gonna have some conversations on camera. Thanks, Tazza.
She's like, yeah. She's lovely. She's
no,
lovely.
it's fine. No, but I would take that. I do think maybe I can be in like initial situations not the most forthcoming, and that does just come from a place of like self-preservation, like wanting to protect myself.
Thing.
So I probably will stick to that going forward, but I'm open to new connections. Like I always like have time for people, don't get it wrong, and in regards to solving conflict, I stand on what I said about choosing moments. I think sometimes not everything needs a conversation, not everything needs, but I do trust myself when I think something is a deep-rooted issue and needs to be addressed. I feel like I will address it, and so far that's worked for me. I've had situations, even with all of you, I would say, where I feel like we've addressed things and we've come out of it much better for it, and that just proves when the friendship is right and valuable,
it's worth it.
You can address things and they will hear you and you will hear them. Do you know? So that's kind of my overall.
Lola, any last words?
No, sometimes I just have to just take a step back so I don't just go and be dark straight away. No, but I'm being serious, and this is just in general though, and I think I've had to learn just to...
What the hell?
No, seriously though, no, I'm actually being serious.
No, I hear
though.
you,
Like,
I hear you.
I think taking a moment to understand how that person is feeling and their perspective, so I don't jump into a situation and just go... go off on one, because I think everyone's point is always valid, and I think sometimes you have the reason to be able to get to a middle ground where you understand, okay, even if one person is right and another person is wrong, like, okay, we're going to agree to disagree, but we know moving forward that this is how we have to kind of deal with her. Do you know what I mean? In an amicable way. So I think just taking time to just take a step back and just breathe the situation, understand where you could have gone wrong, take accountability, and then address the situation, but not taking too much time, guys, because that always sometimes doesn't work as well. But yeah.
Are you open to new friends, or?
Do you know what? I'm not against it. I think it has to be...
She's a friendly girl.
No, I am. But
friendly
girl. I think in the space and
every day when we go places...
Oh my God, my friend is coming. Yeah, that's my friend. What friend, bro?
She's a celebrity.
We are your friends.
It's true. They just share this. They don't want to share with you anymore.
No,
I get
it's
that.
true.
But no, I am open to new friends, and I think, like you said, in a networking perspective, 100%, I think it's good to share knowledge with people who are in the same field of you, and even
beyond
different. Yeah, but yeah, I am.
Nice.
In that degree.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, some wise words, guys. Hope you've taken from it something from it. And yeah, hope let us know, as we said, let us know what you think of our new surroundings. Make sure you stay locked in, leave a comment, like, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.